Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So we are going to start summarizing some of the work for our exams. And the first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure if you're on the classroom, go to the welcome section. As soon as we have lots of assignments here, you can just click here on the left. So in classwork, you go to welcome. And if you're in the welcome, then you'll see here is this thing called SCI, which is short for syllabus for the years 23 to 25. And you just say open link in new tab. When you open this, then you scroll all the way down and you just look for the numbers here. So this would be for chapter 1, chapter 2, 3, and we want to go all the way to 4. Okay, so 4 starts here under software. And they can only ask you in the exams questions related to this in the syllabus. So candidates should be able to, what should they do? They should be able to describe the difference between system software and application software and provide examples of each. So when you make your summaries, I would suggest, I personally prefer typing everything because I can just use this, I can copy it and I can paste it. Now I know, okay, I need to make a summary with this information. Okay, so we have that. So I just make it a heading 1. So now I know that's the heading, and now I'm just going to add in my summaries. So describe the difference between system software and application software and provide examples of each. So let's first find out what is system software and then what is application software. And then in order to describe the differences between them, we also need to compare those two facts and we need to provide examples of each. Okay, so what you'll do now, so this was the syllabus, just go to the right and see if they have anything that's important to note about any of this information. So notes and guidance. So system software provides services that the computer requires, including operating system and utility software. So I'm going to copy that. And since we're going to do it for system software and application software, I'm going to insert a table just with two headings. One with software, system software and application software. And the first thing we have is for system software, so I'm just going to paste that in. I copied this already. And that should be fine. Operating system. Okay, no, that's fine. And the other thing is application software provides the services that the user requires. So I'm also going to copy that and I'm just going to paste it in there. So from the notes and guidance, they already gave us a few things over here. So you can see here, there's the next thing here saying including. So we need to figure out if this is part of application and system software, or if this is maybe part of this part over here. So this next section, candidates should be able to describe the role and basic functions of an operating system. And then they say including managing files, handling interrupts, providing an interface. So it seems this is actually part of the next section. I mean, this is part of describing the role and functions of operating system. So for now, just from the what do you call this again? The syllabus, we're getting a lot of information. So I'm just going to paste that there, describe the role and basic operation, and I want to make this a heading 1 as well. Let's say for some reason you forgot what the heading is, or what type the heading is. You can just copy that, format painter, and just put that over that, and that makes it instantly a heading 1. So you can see that sometimes you'll see if you use all of this, it's really nice to have this. But for now, we have this, and we're also going to add in what the possible roles and functions are of a operating system. So there we already have that. So now we have like a skeleton to work with, and for the first day we're just gonna do this. So we just have to make enough. Well, we have to create enough information in order to, let's say this, you should read this as an exam question. Describe the difference between system software and application software and provide examples of each. Okay, so we need to add a few more things here. so this, because we can't just draw this on an exam. So what we'll do, you go back to classwork, and then under software I've updated a chapter with chapter 4's work on it, and you're welcome to download it, but everything we need is here. So types of software, you get system software and application software. So now the idea is you first just read through this first part. So that's the operating system. We know just from going through the syllabus that for now the first part is just describing system software and application software. So let's just, well, that's where you come in. These purple boxes are just very interesting facts. You don't need to know any of that. But as soon as this starts, we're going to use this for our summaries. So we can read through this, and then we can decide what facts on here would help us describe the difference between system software and application software. So this is the definition of system software, and this is the definition of application software, and they actually give you a few examples on here as well. But the thing is, you also need to be able to do more research if something here doesn't fully explain what they need from us on the syllabus. So this textbook, the one that we have here, it's updated for the 2023 syllabus, so everything should be here. But if it's not here, it might come up later in the book, but right now we just need to focus on this first part, types of software. So don't summarize the entire textbook. That's not the idea. The idea is so that you have prepared for possible questions where they would ask you to describe the difference between software and application software. So I hope that it's clear what we want. We want you to make summaries of this part here using only this, only being able to describe the difference between system software and application software. But in order for you to describe the difference, you first need to know which each of those are. And the syllabus never said you need to know what they are. They just said you need to know what they are and compare them with each other. And then also be able to provide examples. So all you need to do, you just need to find what are the differences between these two types of software. And then also use Google. Difference between application software and system software. It comes up immediately, and then here is a nice table, and you can use this. You can use all of this on the internet and just put it in your own words. That's the whole point. So it's so that you think through all of this, so that when a question comes up in the exam, you should actually be able to answer this without having to study anything. You just need to know the difference, and then just use your experience from computers to explain what you think the difference is between this is. But you can go and study everything. I just prefer not to just memorize things and try to understand it. So that's why I make you do the summaries, and then you just check if you're able to answer this as a question. So I'm putting that actually in quotation marks. So imagine that is an exam question. You don't have to do that. I'm just for this explanation. You just need to be able to answer a question like that. So for the first day, that's all you have to do. You're just going to make summaries of these two, and if you have a different textbook, you're welcome to use that information as well, as long as it actually describes the differences between them, because that's all you have to do. Describe the differences between system software and application software, and the other thing you need to do is describe the role and basic functions of an operating system. So you just need to know what are the functions and the role of the operating system. So they gave us a few things here, but now you think, okay, most of these make sense. Let's say something about handling interrupts. What is an interrupt? So now we go to the chapter, operating system. Okay, we see something here. Let's find something about the interrupt. Managing files, managing peripherals and drivers, managing memory, interrupts. Okay, let's see what's this. Interrupt is a signal sent to the processor. Okay, so interrupt is a signal sent to the processor to tell it that something needs its attention. Okay, so now we know what that means. So for each of these that you don't know what it means, you should be able to describe it. So managing files. Okay, what do they mean by managing files? A user will use application software to create files. Operating system allows the creation of directories that the files can be stored within. Okay, what is a directory? Um, so use Google. What is a directory? I'm not teaching you what the things are, I'm teaching you how to learn. So a directory, so in this case, historical, a book or a website. Okay, so none of this makes sense. So let's say in a computer. It's a unique type of file that contains only the information needed to access files or other directories. Okay, so you don't even have to go read anything. You can even have a look at some YouTube videos on it. The whole thing is teaching you how to study. So, and you only get to study when you start asking these types of questions. How to study? You ask questions the whole time. Like, don't just say, okay, yeah, I just need to memorize this list and now I should be able to describe the role. This is not how you should study. This is just memorizing a list. You want to understand, what does it mean to manage files? Okay, then we just learned that the user will use application software to create files. The operating system allows the creation of directories that the files can be stored within. Okay, so we know a bit about directories now from our research here. It will allow the users to move files, copy files, delete files, name and rename files, plus any other actions such as sorting by date. So managing files, so if I were to just think my experience with computers, what that would mean, managing files. Okay, so I know I can create a new file. There, I just created a new file and I'm going to call it cheese. I just gave it a name. I have the ability to rename it. They said something about that. Cheese knees. And I also have the ability to move the file around, and that doesn't mean like moving it around like this. It literally means if I were to take this file, I'm just using this as an example, like how you should try and think of how you're gonna add things. So I have a file over here and I want to move cheese knees into another folder. So now I moved the file and I can copy this file. So I can make copies of it and it also pastes that. What is doing all of this? What is allowing me to do all of this? Well, apparently it's thanks to the operating system. And my operating system currently is Microsoft Office. So if I go to this computer and I say properties, then it should tell me that I have Windows. Yes. So Windows specification. So my operating system currently is Windows 10 Pro, and that's the thing that helps me create these files, rename them. Okay, so now I know what that means. But how would I put all of this in my own words? So managing files. So the user will use application software to create files. Okay, so first of all, it's using the words application software. Let's for some reason think, okay, I forgot what application software is. So yeah, then you go back and you see, okay, what is application software? Okay, allows the user to perform a task. It provides a service for the user, for example, writes a letter, view a website, or in this case, create a file. And we know now what application software is, so let's read that again. Knowing what application software is, so the user will use application software to create files. So software that makes the user do things on the computer. So rewording all of this in a way that you understand it would make much more sense for you in your brain, and it's part of learning. So if you really put in the effort, it's small things that we have to do every day. If you put in the effort with just these things here, trying to understand every single sentence you're going to summarize, you will learn how this works. And then by tomorrow, you should be able to explain this without having to revise anything. You should have a basic idea of what these things are. So for the rest of the year, I want you to do all your summaries like this. I want you to go to the syllabus. Today we just have to do these, and then all you have to do is you just rewrite it there, and then you use your textbook if you have a different one than this one, but also use this one. This one is updated and it should have everything we need. And in the end of each of these chapters, you'll see there's a little summary box as soon as it loads. here's a little summary. Two types of operating system performs many functions, including memory management, handling interrupts, and providing an interface. And yeah, so the summaries are here. There's past exam paper questions, and then this is also a self-evaluation checklist. So at the end of the chapter, you can make sure if you really understand this or not. So can you describe the difference between application and system software? Can you describe the role and basic functions of operating system? You'll see all of these are actually part of the syllabus. So everything here, so it's only up till this point, so there's like 9 main topics for chapter 4. All of these will also be at the end of the chapter to tell you, okay, do you know how this works? And then you can make little ticks here, and then you know what you need to revise on if you have extra time in the next chapters. So that was a long video, but hopefully it makes sense on how I want you to make the summaries. So you'll have summaries to make every single day, and if there's something that's not clear, like you really tried your best to understand something, that's where I come in. I am here to guide you and to help you understand something and put something into easier terms to understand. So you can ask me anytime, and yeah, I hope this helps. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.